Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Leslie. If you are new here, I talk a lot about my journey with losing 50 kilos, and I talk a lot about going to therapy and my journey with the darkest times of my life, and I talk about it quite openly. And today I kind of wanted to change the tone, and I wanted to talk about setting some goals for the year. I have been in a stage the last 2 months of taking complete accountability for every aspect of my life. We get so comfortable living how we're living that it takes a while for us to really make these solid changes. And it got to a point 2 months ago where I had to look myself in the mirror with my spending and say this is not okay, and that I need to get myself to a place where I never have to rely on anyone. I never have to put myself in a position of lack. And I just decided then that I was going to take full accountability, not just for my financial life, but for every aspect. And I did do that just before I went on my weight loss journey. Obviously, losing 50 kilos, you have to really decide that you're going to lose weight. Like when I took accountability for being overweight and for making those constant choices that were literally killing me. It was when I was standing on the scales and I looked down and it said 123 kilos, and I was like, this isn't okay. And it was sort of the same thing 2 months ago, where I looked at what I was spending money on and I was constantly justifying why I was spending so much money, or why I was spending that money. And I just was like, this is just not okay. Like, if I want to better my life, if I'm going to sit in front of a camera and talk about bettering my life, then I have to first of all take accountability. I decided to set some goals for myself this year, mostly financially, also to do with my health, and that's about it. Those are my two main goals for the year. As well, I'm also a writer, and I have been working really hard on that, and I read books, and so, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to talk to you about my financial goals and my health goals for the year. I don't have anything written down. This is just talking to you person to person. And so my financial goals for the year. I don't know if you've watched my other videos, but if you have, then you will know that I got sick when I was overseas at the very end of 2023, and I had to quit my job, and I was still in New Zealand for 3 months. And I didn't know when I was coming home. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was living somewhere that was cheap to live in, and it was around really good people, and I was just kind of like, I didn't want to come back to Australia, and because of my health problems, the last thing I wanted to do was get on a plane. I was just in New Zealand, and I had to get a small loan, and I've been working to pay that off. So I came back to Australia, and I was living with family and stuff like that, and so I could save money on rent. But now that I'm back to paying rent and everything, it's the little things really add up, and I'm trying to get myself to a point where I can pay that small loan off, and I can get myself financially stable. So if that situation, ever happens again, if I get sick and I can't work, I'm kind of set up. If we don't prepare, if we don't look after ourselves and we don't take accountability now, then we suffer in the future. And I'm not saying that I'm going to go overseas unprepared, but it happened. And so one of my goals this year is to get myself to a place where I'm financially stable for the first time probably ever in my life. I used to make really dumb decisions, and I was a teenager and in my early 20s, just meant to make dumb decisions. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, it's not funny anymore. It's not funny. I've struggled and I'm so sick of struggling. And because I'm so sick of struggling, I can't complain about it. There's no point complaining about it. All I can do is take accountability, which is what I have done. And take accountability just for these small spending habits. I was sick last year, and so I couldn't do anything, so I was justifying that with spending money on myself. And instead, I could have saved up and I could have paid off my loan. Well, not all of it, but I could have, been putting money towards that. I could have been putting money in my savings. I could have been getting myself to a point where I was okay. And instead, I was saying, oh, well, I'm sick, and so I'm just going to spend this money because, I don't know, it was just justifying, and it was self-sabotaging, and it didn't do anything for me. And it's these instant gratification, that we get from shopping and buying coffee, and when I was overweight, it was the instant gratification of, I'm so fucking depressed right now, I need to eat something. And that's going to fill me emotionally for a little bit. And then in the long run, I'm ruining myself. And so I guess that gets me to the next point, which is my health. This year, I need to get myself to a point where I can go out into the world again, because I am working now, which is amazing, and I'm back in Australia, and so the wages are so much better, and I'm good, and I'm doing everything that I need to do, but I still have social anxiety. I still struggle being around people, and my little sister hasn't gone overseas by herself before, and she's going to Europe, and I want to meet her over there. And so this year my goal is being comfortable enough to get on a flight and go and spend some time with my little sister overseas, because that is such an important, that would be just such a great memory just to have with her. And I have missed out on so many things like that the last year because of my health. And I took accountability for getting my health back on track. Health isn't just weight. Health is mental health. Health is, my social anxiety. I'm starting to get comfortable being around people again. And I'm starting to drink less coffee. And this year I just want to get myself to a place where I'm just at my optimum health. And so I'm doing things like meal prepping, and that also is coming into my saving money. I'm signing up to a gym so that I can be around people, and I can work on my health, and I'm putting myself in different social situations, and I'm seeing my family more, and I'm seeing friends again, and I'm, messaging and reaching out to people, and I'm not closing myself off anymore. And so I guess that one of my big goals this year is to overcome my social anxiety and get my health to a point where it's no longer ruining my life. So this video, basically, I just wanted to say that where in your life do you need to take accountability for? I can sit here and I can say to you, do you want to be your best self? And you can be like, no, why the hell would I want to do that? Like, I'm good. I'm happy with my life. I'm comfortable. I'm whatever. I'm not here to push myself and be the best person. You can tell yourself that you're fine, but the second you start complaining about your life, the second you start complaining about your situation, is when you need to realize that there is probably things in your life that you could take accountability for. If you're complaining, what I mean by that is, if you're constantly complaining about being overweight, it's time to take accountability and do something about that. If you're complaining about never having money at the end of payday, it's time to look at what you're spending your money on. If you're complaining about the people around you, or if you're gossiping about the people around you, if you're getting into anything like that, it's time to look at your inner circle. It's time to look at your life and figure out what you need to take accountability for. We can so easily put the blame on other things. And, with my spending last year, I was blaming being sick as to why I was spending money. I was like, okay, well, I'm sick, so I can't do anything because I'm sick. I'm alone. And so I deserve to spend money on something nice for myself. And I'm not saying that I didn't deserve that. I'm just saying that that money could have bettered my life in other ways. Do you know what I mean? When I was overweight, I was blaming my trauma. And yes, my trauma did have to do with why I was overweight. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I was the one feeding myself. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I was the one making my depression worse. And it wasn't until I took accountability and I said, enough is enough, did I start to lose the weight. Did I put myself in workout classes for 6 days a week? I went for 3 months and I lost 20 kilos. And that was because I took accountability and I said, what I'm doing isn't working. When my environment was so horrible and it was keeping me in a really low vibration, I decided this isn't okay. This is not how I'm living anymore. And I moved. This is just me being honest. And, to take accountability, you have to be honest with yourself. It's so easy for us to justify why we do things. And that's not getting you anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not getting you anywhere. It's not doing anything for you. I can guarantee that. And so making goals. I am living in this new house for 6 months, and then after it works out perfectly because at the end of the 6 months, that is around the time that my sister is going to Europe. So it gives me 6 months to work on my health, my financial well-being, me overall, and I'm given this 6 months to work on all aspects of my life. If you give yourself 6 months, what do you think you could achieve in 6 months? How much further along in your journey to being the better you, not just for yourself, but for the people around you, how much better could you become in your life in 6 months? And I can tell you now, as someone who has lost 50 kilos, it's insane what you can do in 6 months. In 3 months, at the start of my journey, I lost 20 kilos. In 6 months, I'd lost 20 kilos and I moved overseas. In 1 year, I lost 40 kilos. And then in a year and a half, I lost 50 kilos. And it wasn't easy, but I did it. And as you can see, my entire life has changed. And I am not the person that I was in 2023. It's only 2025, and that's insane. As a 26-year-old, I have furthered my life and I have overcome so many things, and I think one of the best things that I did was take accountability for my own actions. And a lot of us don't do it. A lot of people don't do it because you get so comfortable in the negative environment. You get so comfortable in the negative situation. We like the instant gratification, and we like the comfortability. We liked the easiness of it all. But how easy is it when you are suffering and complaining and unhappy? I would say that it's easier to take accountability than it is to spend your life suffering. And so, yeah, I hope that you got something out of this video. I hope that by me being honest about my own situations, that it shows you just how honest you have to be to change your life. I hope that this opens you up to taking accountability for how you are living and how you are treating yourself, how you are spending money, how you are showing up, and the people around you. And I think it's time for us to take a good look at ourselves, and that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, that's what I've already done. And so, yeah. Where in your life can you take accountability? So that is all that I have for this video. I hope that you got something out of anything that I've said, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.